Welcome to the stream. All right, we're seeing. We're just waiting here for a second, waiting for the lag to catch up. I think our audio level should be okay. For those of you just joining the stream now, let us know how the audio sounds. It should sound amazing.
Yeah.
It usually takes a second or two for it to syndicate, to broadcast. We up?
Yep.
Cool. And let me get this URL and send out a tweet. Everyone is waiting at the ready to retweet this broadcast.
It's true. We're queued up.
Yeah.
I just got a notification that you're live.
That I'm live. I still don't have the notification, and it's my channel.
I just shot
looking at
myself.
This is amazing.
I can see this.
You can see it live right now?
Yeah.
I'd fuck me.
Insane.
I'd fuck me so
Can't see
hard.
anything. What's that? Sounds good? Audio's good?
Oh, you got 300,000 subs. Good job, man.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figured if you
Since
sat
the-
around,
since the-
if you sit around doing nothing long enough, you won't lose subs, and it'll sort of climb.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I still don't have the broadcast URL though. Why is this not? What's that?
I said turn up your headphones or whatever.
My headphones.
No, like them, because it sounds good.
All right. Good. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got the URL. There we are. Copy link address. We're tweeting this out, guys. We're gonna have a live debate. We have the amazing Michael Malice in studio today.
It's true.
Who Michael had a crazy day today. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I was assaulted by a bear.
Yeah. Right.
No, I was on Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Joe
Experience.
Rogan Experience. So I just sent out that tweet. If you want to retweet, go ahead. It's just sent.
I got it right here.
There it is.
Retweeting.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, cool. So, yeah, we have the amazing Michael Malice in studio with us today. And Michael, for those of you who don't know, he's written this book. Oh, let me mute this so we don't have an echo. There we go. He's written this book, Dear Reader. It's the unauthorized autobiography of Kim Jong-il.
You're thanked in the acknowledgments.
I am thanked in the acknowledgments. I almost went to North Korea with Michael Malice to do research for this book.
But we had a lover's quarrel.
Yeah. We made up, though.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Passionately.
No.
Passionlessly.
Yeah, you guys want to know what kind of cookies we're eating? We have Girl Scout cookies. They are Samoas, I believe.
They're Man Scout cookies.
Yeah, they're Man Scout cookies. That's
Yeah.
right.
Now.
That's gross. I don't want any Man Scout cookies.
You want Girl Scout?
Haltaf D says, "Is Maddox drinking a Zima?" No, Zimas don't exist anymore.
Yes, they do. They brought them back.
Really?
Yeah.
Zimas came back?
Everything 90s is back. Yeah.
Oh, fucking A.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah, anyway, so here we are. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So, anyway, we got Michael Malice in studio. We also have the amazing Rucka Ali in studio. The co-host of the best debate in the universe.
Well, I thought I'm like top hand, bottom deputy moderator in training or some
Yeah,
shit.
you are the first hand on staff moderator.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he used to be the power bottom,
Oh,
the commanding power bottom moderator on the show.
Huh.
He was the bottom moderator, so you have to go from bottom then to the middle moderator, then to top
Right.
top moderator. Yeah, he can be a power top eventually. We'll see. He's gonna become a rear admiral. A rear admiral at some point.
Admirable. His rear's admirable.
That's going to be
He's
some
been doing
real
his
shit.
squats.
Yeah.
What's up, Jen? We got some hearts in the chat room from Jen. Thank you very much. And then we've got assistant Jessica on the Switch. That's the girl you're seeing over there.
Hey guys.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Let's do this. So Michael Malice is, I would say, the foremost authority on North Korea. If not, at least whenever there's a news story, I feel like people seek you out for that, right?
It's true.
We're plugging this book. We're putting this back up.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? This is an amazing book. I helped Michael Malice create the video for the Kickstarter.
You did. You
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
You edited my Kickstarter video.
And I'm proud to announce I am on Kim Jong-il's list of enemies in the
Yeah.
back of the book.
You and Kim Jong-il and Richard Nixon. You made both lists.
And as well as Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday's on that as well.
That's right. Ryan helped me with the book a lot. Ryan's
Yeah.
a great guy.
Ryan's a great guy. We've had Ryan on as a guest. Okay, so we're going to talk today. North Korea's been in the news everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been doing a lot of provocative measures. They've been launching missiles. They've been they kicked out. So let's go back to the Bush era, right? The
Sure.
Bush 2 era.
Yeah.
George W. Bush. Bush kicked out the nuclear inspectors, right?
What do you mean Kim Jong-il did?
Or Kim Jong-il, that's right.
Yes.
So I think what led up to it, and correct me if I'm wrong, was the Axis of Evil speech.
Well, it's you can't just start arbitrarily with Bush.
I just did, though.
Well, touche.
There you go. So how would you say that we're in the predicament today? What led us to this predicament?
This has been 70 years in the making. I mean, this country has been our enemy since the Korean War, which was in the early 50s.
Right.
They had China and the Soviet Union protecting them. Those fell away, but they haven't, and they've stayed in power. And their point about the axis of evil that you brought up is fair. They're like, what the hell do we have to do with Iran and Iraq? And the only reason they were on that list was so that George Bush wouldn't seem racist. Like, he's like, we got 2 Muslim countries, so we're going to throw in a third one.
That's not the only reason.
That literally is.
No, get out. What evidence is there that
The
that is the reason?
speechwriters talked about this.
Speechwriter said that we have to throw in North Korea so we don't seem
We,
racist.
we can't just have 3 like Muslim countries, and North Korea has nothing to do with Iran and Iraq.
So he just arbitrarily picked North Korea for.
It's not arbitrary; they're evil. But the fact that this is an axis, that the 3 of them have some kind of collusion, is absurd. It's frankly absurd also Iran and Iraq, because they had a huge war and they hated each other.
Well, I don't think they have to have collusion necessarily.
That's
You
what
can
an
just say
axis is mathematically.
a collusion.
A connection between 3 things. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also say it's 3 points. The axis of evil. It's okay. That's the 3 points, right? The 3 points.
But
of
an
evil.
axis is the points are connected, isn't it?
They don't have to be. Come on, they don't have to. Rucka, what do you say? What do you say?
You're asking me about geometry?
Yeah.
How the fuck should I know? Do I look like I know?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're talking about doing a new segment on the best debate. with-
Best geometry in the universe.
Best
Non-Euclidean is the answer.
Rucka. We're gonna give Rucka a science corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have discovered inadvertently. This was a fan suggestion. I think her name is Delana. Delana. She said last time that we inadvertently discovered that it's hilarious hearing Rucka chime in on science topics.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
You'll have to.
Well, now
pay
I'm no.
attention to science corner.
Now I have to know. Like what is hilarious in what way?
Well, last time we talked about dinosaurs.
Don't get me started on them.
What do you have to say about dinosaurs?
I am a lifelong zoology buff.
Are you really?
Yeah, you know I have
know
all these
that. Yeah,
fish
but for the audience, yeah.
Obsessed with zoology since I was a kid.
Right.
I could never watch Star Trek because they look like people, whereas the biodiversity on Earth is just so insane, right?
Right.
And I think dinosaurs get so much attention that should be spent on other more interesting animals just because they're fucking big.
Yeah.
I resent
That's
it.
interesting. That they're big
Who cares? Yeah, we've got big animals
Well,
here.
it's not just because they're big; it's because they're extinct.
and ferocious.
There's lots of other extinct animals that are fascinating.
Yeah, but this was like an entire society of creatures roaming the earth.
Shh, that's true. But there's other time periods of entire societies that have been extinct, like the Ice Age stuff.
Yeah, but they're big though.
But so are mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses and cave lions and things like that. Thunderbirds.
That sounds interesting too.
Exactly, but you don't hear about this shit.
Yeah, but the T-Rex is like fucking. He's like a fucking Megazord, dude.
We
Yeah,
don't
he's a
even know if
Megazord.
the T-Rex was a predator or a scavenger.
Hey, come on. With those teeth, it was a
He doesn't
predator.
he doesn't have arms. How the fuck's he supposed to scavenge?
With his mouth.
Good point.
Like,
Science corner.
Just like a vulture.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway,
I should. Yeah, we got the sound effects going today too.
Yeah.
Here, we were all playing our sound. There's my buzzer. And Michael Malice's. Michael Malice actually suggested his own. There it is.
Yeah.
There's Michael Malice's. That's his own buzzer. Now, here's. I should also mention that we are going to be reading the super chats. If you guys are sending us super chats, I'm going to be reading some of those. Here's one from 6-7, a $2 super chat. He says that cup is looking right at me. I think he's referring to your cup, Michael Malice. Now
it's winking at him.
yeah, there you go. So we are big fans of the Emoji movie that's coming out in this. In studio.
Are we?
No, absolutely
Okay, I was
not.
just like, Jesus.
I don't think anyone is. I think that makes everyone's stomach turn. But back to the discussion of North Korea. Okay, so aside from the Axis talk, I think that I mean, hear me out. Here's my case for why I think we're in the predicament that we're in today. Because before the Axis of Evil speech, we had UN nuclear inspectors in the country. North Korea was not flaunting their nuclear program. North Korea was not testing nuclear ballistic missiles. So what they were doing is complying more or less with the United Nations protocols, right? George W. Bush comes along. He says, okay, the axis of evil is Iran, Iraq, North Korea. Regardless of what reason they put North Korea on that list, it was on that list. Then we attacked Iraq.
Correct.
So if you're North Korea and Iran, and you just got put on a hit list, and one of those 3 got hit, what are you going to do?
You're spoiling my book.
Is that really?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's I think that's what led us to our predicament today.
Oh, I thought you meant the predicament of North Korea as this rogue nation that has people as in concentration camps, and what are we going to do about this poor country? But yes, the nuclear stuff, that's exactly
Nuclear
correct.
stuff. Okay, that's
correct.
exactly correct. Hey, you guys heard it here. The foremost authority
What?
on North Korea.
They weren't building a nuclear program.
So in the
No.
90s, they were, and then what we tried to do with South Korea had something they called the Sunshine Policy, right? And that basically meant we're just going to give them whatever they want and hope they play nice. And the South Korean president got the Nobel Peace Prize for this. And we sent Madeleine Albright to give him a toast and all this other stuff. And they were kind of playing nice for a while. And Madeleine Albright came over, I think it was in the fall of 2000, or like this second half of 2000, right before the election, right before the new administration. The idea being she's going to set the stage for a presidential visit. Then Bush comes into office, and he's not going to we're not playing nice with people anymore. And everything just went completely out the window. And he was very antagonistic. However, it was George W. Bush who took North Korea off the state sponsors of terrorism list towards the end of his presidency. So he gave him the stick, and he also gave him the carrot.
So it seems like it was too little, too late at that point when he took them off.
Correct. So North Korea, and I always make this point, people are like, why don't they just liberalize? If you look at Iraq, if you look at Libya, if you look at what they were trying to do with Slobodan Milosevic, whenever these regimes go down, the people at the top have a bullet put in them, and with good reason. So if he's like, you know what, let's loosen everything up, they're coming for him, and they're going to kill him, and they should kill him.
Yeah.
So he's not in a position to be like, let's make everything nice, Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, look at Gaddafi. He doesn't want to end up like that.
No. It seems like it's a lose-lose proposition. So what is the solution out? So we're talking about the regime now. They're making very provocative measures.
Correct.
They're launching missiles over
Yes.
the Pacific, right?
Sea of Japan.
Yeah, the Sea of Japan.
Yeah.
And, our allies.
Correct.
And Japan, since World War II, has not supposed to have been militarized, right?
Correct.
And they slowly have been,
Right.
little by little, which
Yeah.
is making China very nervous.
Yes.
So we're in a very tight spot because we want Japan to be able to defend themselves and be the potential first strike against North Korea should they attack us. However,
Well, no, the first strike would be South Korea.
well, South Korea, of course.
Yeah.
However, if we encourage the armament of Japan and Taiwan, for that matter, it's going to put a lot of pressure and strain on our relationship with China.
100%. And China's problem is the Yalu and Tumen rivers are what separates China from North Korea. They don't want 24 million people who don't speak Chinese crossing the border and setting up camp in Manchuria who bring nothing to the table, who have never, who aren't really have been online and who doesn't know anything about Chinese culture. So that's a problem for them. And you can understand that. Plus, they don't want a unified Korea right on their border, an American ally.
Right. So you have this huge predicament where even if we go in there today and liberate them, so China doesn't want that for the reasons you just stated.
Right.
You're going to have this flood of unskilled laborers flooding
Right.
their market.
Right.
Which again, that seems like kind of a selfish reason to continue to allow people suffering.
Well, the other thing is that North Korea revels in the fact that they give the finger to the big guys. They're like, look, we're the size of Pennsylvania, and we get China and Japan and the U.S. scared of us. We're doing a pretty good job, and that's a good point on their part. They are really kind of their whole point is, Kim Jong-il said this, the way to treat America is, if necessary, to slap her across the face. So they like the idea that they're what they call a shrimp among whales, and that they can boss around countries that are a lot bigger than them. The metaphor they use, like we're like an anthill with an elephant. The ants can't kill the elephant, but we could sure get it to go where we want it to go.
That's interesting.
So they're very aware that they're small, but they're also aware that they have leverage.
So when you visited North Korea,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, Juche philosophy is kind of like their national religion.
The Juche idea, yeah.
The
This
Juche
is me with
idea.
the leaders. Can you see it?
Yeah, can we put that
Wow.
on camera? Yeah, I think you can see that. So we should talk about that. What is Juche philosophy? Because it is not
The
quite
Juche
a
idea.
religion. The Juche idea.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not quite a religion, although it's like a nationalistic. Which, by the way, again, I should mention we've got the super chats. I'll read those in a moment. But back to the Juche idea,
Yeah.
not a philosophy.
No, it is a philosophy, but they always refer to it as the Juche idea. And I read a translator's memoir, and he goes, I don't know why, but you have to say Juche idea, not Juche philosophy.
Oh, interesting. Maybe okay.
We can speculate for days.
Yeah.
We don't have an answer.
That's interesting. Okay, so the Juche idea.
Yeah.
Let's explain it to people what that is. Let's explain to that to people who don't know what that is, so that they get an understanding of the philosophy that is going into the North Korean people and their leadership.
So first of all, they claim that we wouldn't be able to understand it because we're not Korean. So it has a mysticism to it
So it's impossible to even. Okay.
for us to get it,
Okay.
you know? So the Juche idea literally is man is the master of everything and controls everything. That's
Right.
it in one sentence.
Right.
But what it means is Smurf, meaning a word that has infinite meanings and no meaning. So they have Juche gymnastics and Juche architecture and Juche music. And Juche means by Koreans and for Koreans, but it really means what the Kim family likes. So their claim is that everything that they have is based on Koreanness, and Korea was the first government on earth, and Korea was the first language ever spoken. And like, for example, they have the Arch of Triumph in
Yeah.
North Korea,
Yeah.
which looks exactly identical to the one in Paris, but it's like a foot taller. But it's not based on the Paris one; it's based on an ancient Korean like gate. And it's so they have all these things that are clearly ripoffs, but they're like, no, it wasn't inspired by that. It's original to us. For example, their symbol of the Workers' Party of Korea is a hammer and sickle and a writing brush, which represents intellectuals. No other country praises intellectuals to have their symbol in the North Korean emblem. So it really is idiosyncratic, and it just means whatever we happen to like.
Interesting. So
But then they apply it in very sinister ways. So, for example, the UN has recently attacked them for human rights violations, right?
Right.
And they say, well, we have Juche human rights, which means nationalism. So when you criticize our country, you're violating our human rights.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's one big catch-22. First
It's
of all,
like, it's like a Maddox argument.
how's that a Maddox argument, Rucka?
Trust me.
It's not.
Okay. You were saying.
I was saying,
Oh, they're booing you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, where are those voices?
audience-
God.
the audience
can
is
hear
booed
can
you.
hear the chat room all the way from here.
Yeah.
But what were you about to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hey, speaking of chat room, real quick, we got Daniel Connerman with the $1 no message, just a thank you. Thank you, Daniel. And Jen gave us a $20. Thank you, Jen. Wow, that's
shit.
fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She says, all my support, loving this impromptu debate with Michael Malice.
Oh, that's very sweet of her.
Thank you, Jen. Jen's a sweetheart. She's a big supporter. Thank you.
She gets the happy face.
There you go. There you go. We're adjusting the emojis, the emotes on the cup.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the Emoji Movie. Watch and donate to your chance to win free tickets to the upcoming Emoji Movie.
We're giving out tickets now?
Starring one Maddox.
No, I'm
Are you
not.
in it?
I'm not.
Maddox
I'm
not.
not in
Maddox not actually.
It's
in it.
wait a minute. You're saying that the star of Ooga Booga
Working his way up.
couldn't get his way into the
Yeah.
Emoji Movie.
it. Yeah. Okay. It's not a big. So we got another super chat from Daniel Connerman. He says, "End the war. My grandfather thought. Okay. Excuse me. His grandfather fought, and human. What does he say here? And let me. Sorry, this is scrolling. Okay, and the human suffering. That's what he says. All right,
Yeah.
Daniel Connerman. Thank you, Daniel, for a $2 super chat. Okay, Rucka.
Yeah.
I want to get back to the Juche philosophy and how
Idea.
it may have influenced. Oh,
The
I'm sorry.
Juche
The
idea.
Juche idea. You know what, though? I'm not Korean, so I can't possibly understand it.
But you can refer to it correctly, and they have a tower there called the Tower of the Juche Idea, which can be seen from everywhere in the world.
I could refer to it correctly, which I did by calling it a philosophy, or I could refer to it how they want me to refer to it.
Well, it is a philosophy, but the official name is the Juche Idea.
Okay. Rucka.
Yeah.
And I want to find out how that influenced, I think, Kim Jong-un and the
Yeah.
Kim Jong-il leadership. Rucka, what would you say is the solution to this predicament?
Yeah, Raka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the solution?
In 2 sentences.
Okay, I'm
What do you
actually
got?
going to do this in 2 sentences. Tell South Korea to arm the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure we have the defense capabilities in case of a missile coming our way. There you go, 2 sentences.
So
That's the current situation, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what we have right now.
Yeah, but like we're
Better.
We're babysitting South Korea a lot. It's time to just tell them to piss or get off the pot.
South Korea.
Yeah.
Okay, and what
This
do we tell our allies in China?
They're not really our allies.
I'm not
they're
really
our
sure.
rivals.
What do we
Yeah.
call our trade partners in China?
Yeah.
What do we tell them?
I don't know. What are we telling them now? Like what was China? I don't know.
Well, China doesn't want a fucking war in their backyard, and they don't want to get dragged
why
into
is that?
shit.
Why is that my problem? Do I look Chinese?
Kind of.
Because
I saw your videos.
yeah.
By the way, we're happy to announce the Dear Reader movie adaptation with soundtrack by DJ Not
By
Nice.
the way, you have the same hair as him.
Yeah, I told you, man.
Oh my god.
Big fan, big
I
fan.
didn't even realize that. When Rucka came in, I was praising your haircut, not ironically,
Yeah.
and now I realize why I like it so much.
Told you, dude.
Yeah, A+.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, and then there's Maddox.
Yeah, I have my hair's just fine, okay?
Yeah.
It's peach fuzz. You may have heard of it.
I'm trying to think of a dictator who shares your haircut, but honestly, anyone with that.
Mussolini.
Oh.
Mussolini did not.
Yes, he did.
He had a hat on.
Goggle it. Oh, he had a hat on.
Oh.
No. Okay. So, moving on though. Back to the debate, the discussion. All right. So the Juche idea. Now you have Kim Jong Il and Kim Jong Un.
Right.
Kim Jong Un is his son.
Right.
For those who don't know, those who aren't following. Imagine living under the Kim Jong Il regime as him being your father and him grooming you to be the next leader.
He wasn't groomed to be the next leader.
He wasn't.
The eldest son, who was just recently killed, was groomed to be the next leader.
Wow.
Kim Jong Nam, the one who was killed in Malaysia in that airport.
Oh, dude.
Oh wow, that's fascinating.
So
he was
got-
the one assassinated.
Yes, he was passed over. He was being groomed.
Oh, and why was he passed over?
Because I get into this in my book, several reasons. He wanted to denuclearize. He was an environmentalist. He said we should liberate. And Kim Jong-il told him, if you want openness, open a window. What worked for Beijing won't work for us because we're Korean.
Wow.
And all sorts of other things. He wanted big changes. And they're like, fuck you. The youngest son's going to stay the course, and that's what we're going to do. In 94, when Kim Jong-il took over for his father, the great leader and the founder of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, his campaign slogan, which was on billboards, was, "Do not expect any change from me." This was literally his campaign slogan. I am the same person as my father. So their whole point is that you have this continuity of leadership that's keeping you guys safe, because at any moment the Americans are going to come back and finish the job they started in the Korean War and kill you all.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it's most likely that Kim Jong Un made the hit on
100%. And Kim Jong Nam saw it coming. He publicly or semi-publicly has always said, if you're going to kill me, watch out for my family and things like that. Because if you kill the eldest son, there's no plan B. If you took out Kim Jong-un, you could put Kim Jong Nam in tomorrow because he's the son of Kim Jong-il. With no Kim Jong Nam, now you really got a problem.
Wow. So and for those who don't know, this made headlines about a couple months ago.
Yeah.
When he was assassinated in an Indonesian airport.
Right.
And the way that it happened was it was a girl who did it.
Who had an LOL shirt on.
Wearing an LOL shirt.
Fuck.
And she came up to him and sprayed him in the face with water.
She had a towel that had a poison on it and put it on his face.
Yeah. And she was duped, allegedly.
It's a lie.
She wasn't duped.
Yeah.
She was an actual assassin?
She said it was a candid camera show. How is that a prank? What kind of prank is I put a towel
I don't know,
on someone's
man.
face?
Have you watched Joey Salads lately? I knew that would go over your head. He's a good friend of the show. We're have him on soon.
He is actually. Rucka introduced me to.
I hang with Joey.
Yeah, Joey Salads. Rucka
Yeah.
introduced me to Joey Salads. We're gonna have him on the show at some point. He does prank videos that some have been very notorious for the
It's a social experiment.
social experiments.
But I mean, they're
You'd love
they're actually pranks. I'm sure he doesn't put a towel on someone's face.
well, so the girl said that she did it for two other people with actual. It was just water, and then for the third one, which was him, Kim Jong Nam, they swapped it with this deadly poison.
Yeah, there's no way. Because
think
the
so?
one who blew up the South Korean plane had similar stories, as cover stories.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
they were doing a game show, that sort of thing?
No, but she was just like, "Oh, I'm a Japanese agent, not a North Korean agent." And they're like, "Okay, name a street in Japan you grew up on," and she's like, "Kim Jong Il Street."
Oh no. Okay,
Yeah.
busted.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
and she got pardoned by the South Korean government.
she got pardoned by the South Korean government.
So the North Korea, when Seoul got the Olympics they got the 84 or 88 Olympics, Summer Olympics, I don't remember which one.
Right.
North Korea said, "Hey, let's share the Olympics," and they said, "No, you don't have the capabilities. The Olympics are awarded to a city, not to a country, and it's not up to us to share it." And Kim Jong Il's like, "Come on," and they said, "No," and he goes, "Okay." So he sent two of his agents aboard one of their planes, and they stowed a bomb safely in the overhead compartment. And when there was like a layover, they left, and the plane blew up and killed a couple hundred people. The guy killed himself. There were two of them. The woman didn't. She got caught, debriefed by the Korean CIA. And then she got a presidential pardon. So it would be like Clinton pardoning who blew up Oklahoma City.
Timothy McVeigh.
McVeigh. It was the equivalent of that. Now she's walking around Seoul perfectly fine.
Holy shit.
Wow. It's a
Wow.
crazy place.
That's fascinating.
And that's why they were on the state sponsors of terrorism list, because they blew up a plane and killed people for terroristic purposes.
Yeah. Wow,
Wait,
that's
so a South Korean president pardoned her?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, "You've been brainwashed by the North Korean leadership." It's like, that's nice, but you killed hundreds of people. You should be in the death chair.
Well, is brainwashing even a scientific?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, right? There's no scientific evidence. There's just a bunch of speculation and
Right.
theories and philosophies and ideas.
Right, the
about
Juche
brainwashing.
idea.
The Juche idea. We've got a couple of shout-outs here. Daniel Conderman, super chats rather, for $2. He says, "World War III is here anyways. Time to fight. No agenda show."
Yeah.
He's saying. He said we should just fight North Korea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daniel Kahneman.
Okay.
Okay, Daniel, we will take your opinion
Yeah,
into
on it.
consideration.
Yeah.
Hey, it's $2, man.
Yeah.
It's a
okay.
$2 opinion.
He's
yeah.
entitled to his opinion.
That's
and
fair.
Then Larry Steele wants you to have a shout out to a certain someone, Michael. But I don't know if you want to make this shout out. Is there anyone that you were going to shout out at any point
Oh, I seriously?
Yeah.
Do you know the name?
for $2? I do know the name. Yeah.
Is it start with a S?
Yes.
So, Larry, what's his name? Larry Steele?
Larry Steele said that. Yeah.
Larry, I said to your buddy, I would be glad to shout him out as long as he adds me on Facebook because I don't want to shout out somebody and later it turns out they're a mass murderer.
That's right.
And he didn't even respond.
Right.
So I will be glad to give a shout out to. That would have been so funny if it worked. Damn
There it
it.
is. Yeah, there it is. You would have been glad to give a shout out to him, but a deal's a deal.
A deal's a deal.
Some guy wants Michael Malice to shout him out. Michael Malice has been on 2 huge shows today.
Yeah.
Mine and Joe Rogan's.
And I don't think that's unfair. It's like I'll give you the shout out, but
Yeah.
I don't even know your real name,
Right.
and I'm not going to make that public.
You seem
course.
very, very untrusting of the new media.
Well, I mean, these guys identify as certain qualities that I don't like in
Oh,
people.
Yeah.
I mean, but like typically public figures, they don't want to give out their Facebook. Like they don't.
This
just
guy's
tell,
not a public figure.
Well, they don't just tell strangers, "Hey, find my Facebook and add me, and
Oh.
then I'll trust you to give you a
No,
shout out."
I've talked to
publicly."
this guy a lot
Oh.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
I went on Discord with this group of people.
Mhm.
They seemed like cool guys, to be fair. But I'm like, you got to meet me halfway or even a third of the way.
Yeah.
So,
Daniel Connerman says for another $2 super chat, he says, "No agenda show will punch you in the mouth." JCDAC. What is that? JCD. Oh,
J-
John.
JDC.
JCDAC. I don't know what that is.
Don't give a. I don't know.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, don't.
AC. I don't know.
I don't know.
Just don't give a whatever.
I feel like we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
QFT.
Hey, speak for yourselves, guys. All right, so back to the discussion, though. So Connerman wants us to actually,
Oh, and the other thing is the guy's first name is something I'm not going to shout out because that's going to open 100 other questions, as
of course,
you saw.
yeah. Kirk Wilcox, super chat for $2. Thank you, Kirk. He says Kim Jong-un should just do communism the right way.
Yeah.
What's the right? Oh, actually, there is a right way for communism. It's just never happened before.
Yes, coincidentally. We know it's not really communism. It hasn't worked, and communism works, therefore it's not communism, right? They don't identify as communists anymore, so they don't regard themselves as communist.
Do they call themselves socialists?
No, it's the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I mean, they sometimes say it, sometimes don't. They don't keep the story straight, but it's more the Juche idea and Kim Jong-il's refinement of the Juche idea, which is the sun gun idea.
You know, the thing about the word democratic in the title of a country, the name of a country, is similar to using the word truth in the
Yes.
title of a website.
What
news
about
website.
truth? That was the Russian newspaper. Pravda means truth.
Well, is it really
The official
Prav?
Soviet newspaper was called Pravda, and there was another one called Izvestia, which means, I think, news. So the joke was the truth isn't news and the news isn't true.
That's
So
hilarious.
what was you said about communism? Like it works if it doesn't work. Like what was that again?
Well, so we've never seen communism
Right.
in
Okay.
society. No, we
Okay.
haven't. It's just,
Okay.
socialism is the transitional state to communism.
Okay.
And Marx's theory was that the most industrialized and the most advanced societies, they would go towards communism first. And we've seen the opposite happen. We've
It's
seen
not the opposite, because the opposite would be the least advanced, which would be like African countries, right?
Okay, well, close to. So Vietnam, China, pre-industrialized China.
And so the Soviet Russia, which was a feudal basically
Right.
country.
So that's where socialism took foothold. So Marx's theory on how communism would even take place never even happened. We've never
Right.
seen it happen. And if communism took place, on paper, it is a utopian society. It's
False.
supposed to be.
No, it sounds like shit.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be
I'm-
able to do your website, your podcast.
I'm not saying it's a good sound
He's a
theory.
You
smart
said
man.
utopia.
That's what he said. That's what
Wait, I
you
gotta-
said.
You just said it would be utopia.
It's not my fucking theory.
You just said if it worked,
On paper.
if it was possible to have, it would
Can
be
I say one
utopia.
thing?
Go for it.
Every philosophy works on paper. What does that mean for it not to work on paper? In theory, everything works, because in theory, you can make up your whatever stories you want. That's why a lot of your theories work in theory.
Okay, shitheads. What he said is that the communism is supposed to be. I don't care if you're triggered. Here, I veto those triggers. Communism, if it worked, he described everyone as being happy and living harmoniously and being in a peaceful society. That's how he described communism.
Yeah,
That
but
sounds like utopia to me. I'm not saying that it would work. All right, don't jump down my throat.
I'm not
What do
saying
you mean everyone
I'm-
would be
hold on.
happy?
I'm
Yeah.
not saying utopia would work.
What
it
is-
sounds like hell.
There is a conclusion,
God.
and then there is a. the mechanism to that.
What do you
conclusion.
mean everyone would be happy?
It's not my fucking
Would
theory.
they
I didn't
be
make it up.
doped up on heroin? What do you mean they'd be happy?
Equally.
Equally happy? Like
Equally doped up.
what does that mean? Like you?
I don't
what
fucking know.
What makes you happy?
Nothing.
Okay. I know what makes you happy.
What?
Fried Chicken Tuesday.
Yes.
Do you think that would exist under communism? Wrong. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
What else makes you happy? Writing your little articles, insulting public officials of the government. You think that would happen in communism? Wrong. Okay. What else makes you happy? Making your videos, sticking it to the third wave feminists. Do you think that would be allowed under communism? Okay, what else makes you happy? Playing your fucking video games. Do you think they would exist under communism? Okay, want me to keep going all fucking day?
Look, man, this is all entirely speculation and conjecture, and I'm not saying they would
We
exist.
don't need to speculate.
It's a fucking
We can
straw
look
man
at
argument.
North and South Korea.
Yeah.
South Korea invents new fucking TVs because they have personal fucking individual freedom to create shit and make a profit, whereas North Korea is the opposite, and they haven't invented a fucking anything more advanced than a fucking candle.
They
How did
invented
they get-
Vinila. They invented juche fabric,
All right, so
Juche fabric.
one fabric.
Yeah, fuck you,
which is
Rucka.
terrible.
Yeah, it sucks.
But they invented it.
You want to drive a North Korean car?
No,
I know. I drive a bike.
I ride a bike. Yeah,
I'm a
that sounds like-
pirate.
that sounds
I'm a
pretty
bike
good.
pirate.
He is a communist already. That's
Yeah, he's
communist with
already a
advice.
communist.
Go back to Beijing with that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, again, socialist.
He's a socialist. You heard
No.
it here first.
You could take the boy out of Armenia, but you can't take the Armenia out of the
Yeah.
boy.
Do you know that
Here's the-
older Armenians like yourself
Uh-huh. Yes. Go on.
in the community in like the Glendale villages?
Yeah.
They
yeah.
refer to younger Armenians as Cheerios
Why?
Are they really?
because the older ones grew up under communism, and so the younger ones they say grew up eating Cheerios.
Oh.
I've heard better insults.
Yeah, that's.
No, it's not really an insult. It's like just a way to classify. I'm like, oh, the little
It seems
Cheerios.
a dismissive term at least.
It might be.
You did
but
the hand motion.
It's just a way of classifying people.
But-
I didn't mean to dismiss. I just mean like, oh yeah, my cousin, whatever. I don't know how the fuck they talk. How do you guys talk?
Dude, you're hearing it
I
right
thought
now,
it was more
shithead.
like ape-like grunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I got some super chats. But I'll address that fucking bullshit ass straw
Let
man
me have a
argument you
fucking
went
cookie
off.
and enjoy
Yeah.
capitalism.
Yeah, eat more cookies. Shove them in your mouth.
Shove 'em in your fucking fat
Yeah.
mouth.
Living like Kim Jong Un over here.
Yeah.
All right, we got a super chat. I don't know who said this. Okay, here we go. Daniel Connerman, $2, says John C. Dvorak and Adam Curry, you should be friends. Do you guys know who those? I know I've heard of Adam Curry. I don't know
No.
Dvorak. Esteban for $5. What's the currency? AR. What country is AR? Argentinian? That's
think
50.
so.
That's 50 pesos.
Good for him.
He gave 50 pesos. Thank you, Esteban. He says, back to the main topic, my 50 pesos. Daniel Connerman for another $2 says, humans suck. Struggle sorts out burns and bad genes. Oh,
Thank
bumps.
you.
Bumps
There
and
you
bad
go.
genes.
Fucking, that's the kind of idea, the jujitsu thing that the Koreans
Juche.
believe in.
Juche, please.
People
it's
think
an
it's
idea.
so cute to be like so nihilistic, like, oh yeah, man, fuck people. Guess what happens when fucking lowlifes like this come into power in these dictatorships? They carry that shit out and they murder everybody. Oh well, I thought you think human beings are garbage, or we're just treating them as such.
I have such a man crush on Rucka right now.
I
A
told you, man.
plus. A plus.
See,
Everybody loves Rucka.
Rucka gets a science corner. This is
thought,
why.
I thought you disagreed with his fucking dinosaur stance.
He didn't have a dinosaur stance.
Yeah, he did. He said they were cool, and you said they weren't.
I said they're overrated.
He
Doesn't mean they're not
he
cool.
said he thinks there too much emphasis
Yeah.
on them. I had an idea about dinosaurs. I never even said they were cool. I
Yeah.
never was one of these kids that's like super into dinosaurs.
You said they were cool.
No.
Do you want me to tell the bird story?
I said that current day whales might be dinosaurs. They survive because they can swim. Because they can swim.
This is the Rucka science.
The comet hit the earth and the wave
Holy
washed
fuck.
over. The whales could swim.
Holy
But why are whales so big if they're not fucking anyway?
Oh, gosh.
This is like if Chewbacca's from Endor, then OJ is innocent. If whales can swim, then they're
They're
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. Why are they so big?
It's
Michael?
just a hypothesis.
That's why the Tyrannosaurus was so big, because he could swim.
It was a hypothesis, not a theory.
It's not a hypothesis. It's bullshit.
No, a hypothesis.
Oh, see, this idea works in theory. It's like communism.
yeah.
It's like,
No,
in theory, it's
I didn't
Tyrannosaurus
say
and whales.
theory. I said hypothesis.
Oh.
Anything could be a hypothesis, right?
And anything could be a
You can
theory.
just be like, I have a hypothesis.
Okay.
That's like step one.
Okay, what's step 2? And then step 3.
Like,
Step
look
3 is
for
profit.
evidence. Look, yeah.
He's the underpants nose with dinosaur bones.
What about the dinosaur bones?
He's in the underpants nose with dinosaur bones. Step 1, hypothesis. Step 2, step 3, profit.
From South Park.
He's seen
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
from
seen
South Park.
parts of it.
He's only seen a couple.
He's only seen step 2.
I've seen parts of South Park.
Yeah.
Look, I haven't seen every fucking episode of South Park. I've seen a decent amount.
This is
I
like the
understand.
essential first,
Yes.
second,
Oh,
third season.
Okay, shitheads. I got a real quick aside. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the new Aliens movie that came out.
Okay.
Aliens Covenant.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to the theater with my friend who said it was a piece of shit. He
I
said he
believe
didn't
it.
like it.
Okay.
Right? You believe that, right?
Yeah.
Most people have said it's not a good movie.
I heard that.
I enjoyed it,
Good for you.
and there is a reason I enjoyed it. It's because I've never seen the second movie. I've only seen part 1 and part 4, and I thought Aliens Covenant was
Wait,
pretty
you
good.
never saw Aliens?
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. But Michael,
Holy
when I asked my friend,
crap.
why he didn't like Alien Covenant, he's like, "Oh, because the other ones were so much better. This one's kind of a piece of shit in comparison." I'm like, "Well, I haven't seen the other ones, and I
That's
enjoyed
fair.
this one.
That's fair.
And now I'm gonna go back and watch the other one, and you're telling me that there's a better Aliens movie out?
That's fair.
Holy shit! Now I enjoyed 2 movies, whereas you only enjoyed 1.
So I think that's fair, and I'd also think that proves that in your life, ignorance brings you pleasure.
There you go.
You
Ignorance
are the
or
worst
delaying?
fucking person to watch movies with. You do know that, right?
The worst? How so? Okay, we got Assistant Jess sassing off. This may be her last time assisting. What do you want to say, Assistant Jess? Because they want to hear you in the chat room.
So you started off. We started watching Game of Thrones, and you started
I
the
hate it.
5th fucking season, and you think you know everything that's going on in 5th season.
Yeah, I do know. Because I'm not a fucking moron. I'm a human being who can understand context clues. Daniel.
Cues? Do you mean cues?
Cues. That's what I said.
You said clues.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke one fucking word. The first time in my life. Here's.
Did you say you hate Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
How much of it have you watched?
The first season.
Ask him how much of it he's lived.
I mean, I get that you actually.
Because I look like Joffrey?
Oh yeah, Michael Malice, guys. Michael Malice looks like Joffrey from season 1 or 2 or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
for a few seasons.
He looks so much like Joffrey. I remember the first time I posted it on your wall. Was
Yeah.
I the first person to do that?
You might have been.
Yeah.
And there's a photo of me and him as a kid, side by side. I have on my Facebook, and we look
It's
very
uncanny.
close. Yeah.
It's uncanny. We got a super chat from Daniel Connerman. Daniel said for $2 he says I have been trying to be internet famous for a while. You're doing it, Daniel. And then here's another one from Daniel Connerman for another $2. He says, "Watch more Aliens, dumbass." All right, Daniel Connerman.
Oh, he's got your number.
Yeah, right.
You will really love Aliens. The second
will.
one. And you know what else you'd love? Have you seen Terminator 2?
I've seen most of it.
Parts
yeah.
of it.
I've seen
Most
I've
of
seen
it?
90% of it.
When you say these are the two, other than like Return of the Jedi, these are the two best sci-fi movies ever, Aliens and Terminator 2.
I'm not a big enough expert on Aliens, but definitely Terminator 2.
Yeah, it's. I don't know anyone who doesn't love it.
I didn't like John Connor in the movie and the mom.
Which one?
Terminator 2.
What do you mean you didn't like him? He's
Part of the whole fucking show, dude. Like,
it's
that's
like
the
a
whole
full
thing.
movie. It's
Yeah,
like,
so I
he's
didn't
not
like-
he's not like the hero. The Terminators are the focus of the
Yeah.
movie.
Now, this is one of those movies where waiting too long did backfire a little bit because I went back and I watched it and I was like, it's kind of campy. The special effects aren't that good.
Okay, that's fair. I can
The
see
first
that.
one is underrated. Terminator 1 is a
Yeah.
badass movie. And it like stands on its own. Like you would never guess they were gonna fucking like
Correct. Make a franchise out
Like,
of
make
it.
a-
It was
yeah.
like a B movie,
it's like a
Yeah.
solid like
B-movie, yeah.
sci-fi like 80s.
like a RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the point is, if you wait until the later movies in a series come out and watch those, and then watch the series backwards, the movies will get increasingly better, and you will enjoy that shitty movie that everyone's panning. The
That's how to
first-
read murder mysteries. Also.
Is it true?
No, you idiot.
You know what? Whatever. the first Die Hard movie I saw was Die Hard 4.
Okay.
And then I saw Die Hard 1, and I thought, oh my god, I like Die Hard 4. I was like, oh, it's a fine movie. Why is everyone panning it? Then I watched Die Hard 1. I'm like, holy shit, it's so much better. I can't believe this movie's so much better. But I enjoyed 2 movies, whereas all you shitheads only enjoyed 1.
Well, you know what this is like? This is like everyone's experience with the Star Wars movies, where they see like Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, and then they go look at the prequels. They're like, "What the fuck is this
Yeah.
shit?"
Yeah. Well, okay, but they weren't really
Correct. I
prequels.
know, I'm joking, yeah.
Fucking George Lucas, man. Can we stop giving him credit for having vision? He had none. He didn't know those movies were going to be what they became. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had Luke and Leia kiss.
Right.
Weird.
I still think the Jabba the Hutt sequence might be my favorite thing in all movies.
The original job.
Yes.
Not the stuff
Correct.
that he added
Not
afterwards.
where they changed the song and made it all animation.
Oh, so
the original Cy Snoodles and the Reba Band.
That was a really cool sequence. Anyway, so North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to North Korea real quick. So the question is, the question of the hour is, should we preemptively strike North Korea? That is the question. Now, here's the upsides of striking North Korea preemptively. We could
Rip off the Band-Aid.
rip off the Band-Aid, take out the regime,
Yeah.
invade, and literally be liberators for once.
Yes.
I mean, not for
and
once,
this
but
is not like Iraq. These people would be happy to be given food. And they're not aware of the outside world like in Iraq.
they're not aware, and they're afraid of us because
Yes.
all they've been told is nasty things about
It's not
America.
they've been told. We came there and we decimated them in the 50s. So this
Sure.
is not just lies. The Korean War, the real people who, I mean, besides all the soldiers who we lost, God bless, when you have China and Russia in the north and America and the UN in the south and Koreans in the middle, everyone on that peninsula is going to get really devastated. It was insane, the devastation the Korean people faced.
Yeah, my dad fought in Korea.
Is that right?
Yeah, my dad is a disabled veteran from the Korean War.
Wow.
Yeah, so it hits close home to me with just with my family, but
Is that why you hate Koreans?
I don't hate Koreans.
Joke.
Good joke.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, that's amazing.
How could we know how the Koreans would behave if these shackles were lifted off of them?
Because-
These are like third, fourth, fifth generation.
Because we know a lot of refugees, and the
Yeah.
refugees talk about what life is like. And what happened is things were better and better and better for them until the 90s, and then the starvation hit. So now they're increasingly aware. And the thing is, look, you can convince someone that Kim Jong-il is magic. You can't convince a mother that it's better for her to have less food on her kid's plate this year than last year.
Yeah.
It's a simple physiological thing.
Yeah, but like their entire worldview is like shaped by what they've seen.
Decreasingly, though, because now they have word of mouth and people get out and they have these memory sticks that they share. And it's like they're looking across the river and China has electricity at night and they don't. And it's just like, fine, Kim Jong-un's the greatest thing ever. Why don't I have electricity? And then it's like, you're not supposed to ask those questions. Like, I don't know.
When they see that the outside world has been so advanced and they've been repressed and have so much to catch up on, so much world, so much
But
culture.
here's the big one. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is the big one that blows people's minds. So there's a book in North Korea which I have called The U.S. Imperialists Started the Korean War. So their foundation myth is that we invaded in the early 50s and we started the Korean War. They had the sense to counterattack, blah, blah, blah. So when they learn that the great leader Kim Il-sung started the Korean War, it's been described as akin to us learning that FDR hit the Japanese at Pearl Harbor. Like your brain explodes. So all of their worldview is based on the idea, because they still love Kim Il-sung. He's technically legally still the president. Kim Jong-il they like a lot less because when he took over, the famine hit. But it's like to find out that your George Washington was actually the devil. It's mind-boggling because everything else is dominoes after that psychologically.
why when they're like crying because Kim Jong-il died, is that real or is
When Kim Il-sung died, the father, he died in 94 and he's been there since the 40s. If you had a president who's been around for 50 years and he died, you know what I mean? We would be crying, a lot of people, because it's like, what the fuck happens now? This guy's been watching over our country for 50 years. When Kim Jong-il took over, it was a lot less sincere. But they're also very encouraged to be histrionic all the time. Like you'll see these guides and you have people from the South to come visit and they'll cry and they'll be like, I feel like you're like a long lost cousin. You feel like my son. And it's very much a part of their culture to kind of be very emotive and so on and so forth, and a testament to their purity of soul.
Yeah, I have a
No
clip.
pun intended.
Purity of the soul. I have a clip here from one of the North Korean news anchors, and people have shared this a lot online. It's very
But it's
enthusiastic.
sincere. It's
yeah.
sincere.
Listen to this. Listen how enthusiastic she sounds here.
명성 3호 2호기 위성 발사 성공.
I mean, you remember when JFK died. Not that you remember, but
Yeah, that's what they played when
위성
Yeah.
발사장에서 운반 로켓 은하 3을 통한 광명성 3호 2호기 위성의 발사가 성공했습니다.
It's almost as if she's like enunciating every word right through her nose.
what the fuck was that?
when
That
Kim
was-
Il-sung died, or Kim Jong-il.
That was one of the when they did a successful missile launch. I think. That was the news
Oh,
announcement.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. That's her acting and her
Oh.
being a propagandist.
We got Jesse PS from Pod Awful in the chat
Yeah.
room. We got Lori Foster. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? These guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, let's get some super chat money, Jesse PS. Come on, you got to
Where's that cheddar?
come on. We
Yeah.
need some pizza too.
That Madcast Mad Stacks.
Yeah.
Esteban gave me let's see, 51 peso. I think that's a dollar. What is that? What is a 51 ARS? What's ARS?
Is it Is it Armenian money?
51 ARS to
$2.
USD. No, I'm finding it out. ARS is it's an Argentinian peso.
Okay.
It's equivalent to $3.
That's nice.
Thank you, Esteban.
Wow.
Esteban says, "Do you think it's possible to strike and win without mass murder and or a couple of nukes exploding randomly?
Nukes possible, mass murder impossible.
Mass murder is impossible.
They have the biggest subterranean structure of any country on Earth. Their metro is the deepest in the world. They've been prepping for decades, including school children, for U.S. invasion. So if we come in, it's not going to be hard and fast. It's going to be a lot of death, and they teach them to have the spirit of the bullet and the bomb and lay down your life for the leader. He's got fortresses that are heavily fortified. It's going to take a lot to find this dude. It's going to be, and they're going to be hitting those skyscrapers in Seoul like that. And no one wants to see missiles hitting a city full of skyscrapers. It's going to be carnage. It's mind-boggling.
They don't. Those aren't really occupied, are they? The skyscrapers in Seoul? Or
Seoul
you're
is
saying
South Korea.
South Korea? They
Yeah.
would attack South
Yes.
Korea. But South Korea has a pretty advanced military, and we've been backing them for a long time. We could probably intercept those missiles, right?
I mean, these are big dice to roll.
True.
Probably, yes. One of those missiles hits at a skyscraper. I mean, my God.
Okay, well, let me pose you this question, okay? So we could do the inevitable war, or we could do the preemptive war. If we strike first, and we strike them without them being able to retaliate,
That's not possible.
you don't think so?
No.
I mean, how strike capable are they?
They're
Are
the
they
fourth
ready?
biggest army in the world. Their entire
Korea.
their entire worldview is based on being strike ready.
But aren't their soldiers gaunt? Aren't they ill-equipped, and don't they have the least advanced
Which makes it
equipment?
easier to kill them, right? So
Right.
then if you're talking about mass murder, if these soldiers are so weak, they're going to get killed pretty easily, huh?
Well, the population of North Korea is what?
24 million about?
24 million.
Yeah.
And what would you say the standing army is?
I have it's like 10% of the population. It's some huge number. It's like maybe it's 10% of the population.
Do you think if Kim Jong-un fell,
Yeah.
that the army would yield?
I think if Kim Jong-un fell, it would be very, very healthy because there's not a plan B. And their regime would be like, what do we do now? Because there's no male heir. And then China might be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. That might happen.
Interesting. So
Because it's not like us where you have President Trump, then Mike Pence, then it goes through the main senator, and then
Right.
it goes to the Speaker of the House. No, they don't have that stuff. In fact, when Kim Il Sung, the great leader, was alive, someone high up in the hierarchy said, "What are we going to do when the great leader passes?" And he got exiled to the countryside for even bringing it up.
wow. So if you had to, right, what would you say? If you had to ascribe a percentage on whether or not we should strike preemptively or not, what percentage would you say yes versus no?
I would say very low, but if they have nukes and they start actually threatening with them, which it's conceivable, not impossible, it's not likely, that is going to be a very tricky situation, and it would have to be us teaming up with China.
Okay. And so you're saying less than a 50% chance?
Oh,
that you would
much less.
preemptively?
Much,
Really?
much, much
Okay,
less,
interesting.
yeah.
I want to hear in the chat room, what do you guys think? Should we strike preemptively or not? And in the meantime, I'm going to read a super chat. This is from Electro Shitika for $2. He says, Maddox takes a shit before pulling his pants down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a trendsetter. What? You don't do that?
Saves time, idiot.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
into it. Let's see. We we have another one from Jaden Yuki, Canadian, $2. Thank you, Jaden. Says, we should just assassinate their, quote, dear leader.
The dear leader is Kim Jong-il, who's
Yeah,
dead.
he's already dead.
And so that's not going to happen. And we should I mean, you think it's that easy to just go in a country where everyone's Korean and you're going to pass and just be like, excuse me, where's the Great Marshal Kim Jong-un? Oh, he's over there in the parking lot.
Well, all the armchair generals on the internet definitely, like, anytime anything happens, their answer is, let's nuke them.
Well, by the other point is their whole philosophy is that we want to go in and kill them. And if we did kill Kim Jong-un, then the media, the military gets to go on the news and go, we warned you the Americans are going to do this. They did it, and now we have to clamp down. Can you imagine if someone assassinated President Trump? Even the Democrats would be like, this would not be like, oh, it's fine, we're going to have President Pence.
Right.
It would be chaos, whatever happened.
Yeah.
It would be absolute a shit show. So it's even worse over there.
I cannot stand Donald Trump, but I think it would be a terrible idea if anyone assassinated him.
But the idea that it would be like this gentle transfer of power and everything would be nice after that
Right.
is not possible. There would be massive consequences on some level to somebody if a foreign power did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just going to go in and whack any leader of a
Yeah.
country and then just leave, you're just leaving it
Right.
in chaos. You got to, if you're going to go to war, you got to crush them, crush their spirit,
Correct.
make them ask you what's next.
Correct.
I got another super chat from Daniel Connerman. I missed this one, actually. He says, we want Trek versus Wars and Johnson Hanks 2020, right? Trek versus Wars. Which Trek is he talking about?
Trek. Oh, Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Oh, Star Trek versus
Star Wars, obviously.
Yeah.
This is not a brainer.
Yeah, it's probably Star Wars. Although the next generation, if they had kept that lineage going, I think would have been a contender against Star Wars. And then Johnson Hanks 2020. What do you think of that? Gary Johnson, I assume? Gary Johnson, who? Tom
Who the
Hanks?
fuck's Hanks? Yeah.
Or did he mean The Rock? The Rock is seriously
Rock's name is Johnson.
considering. Oh,
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So it's Johnson and Hanks.
Oh, who? Okay.
Tom Hanks.
Tom
yeah,
Hanks or
that's
Colin-
the
is
it's
Tom
a meme.
Hanks?
It's a meme.
Oh,
It's
is
a
it really?
meme. Tom
Okay.
Hanks isn't going to
Yeah.
run.
Jesse P.S. from Pod Awful says, I'm about to declare this chat room West Korea and make myself dear leader.
Did
That
Jesse
title's been
PS
taken.
And Jesse, yeah, that's right.
And he doesn't have the Mount Pektu bloodline, so he can't do it.
Jesse
Yeah.
P.S. also says, who would win in a fight, Kim Jong-un or a sentient pile of laundry? Michael?
Well, his favorite flower is... I can speak on this. His
Yeah.
favorite flower is the cotton flower because it's humble and close to the ground, so they would actually become friends.
I have nothing in common with a cotton flower.
Why? You're both soft and pretty.
Fuck out of here.
Why does everyone keep booing me wherever I go?
Yeah, that's what happens. So, again, if you guys are just joining us now, we have Michael Malice, the author of Dear Reader, on the show. He was on the Joe Rogan show today promoting the
Yeah.
book.
And
this
talking
amazing
about a
book.
lot of stuff. It was a 3-hour interview.
Yeah, it was a long interview, and but it went by quick, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. We
Yeah.
went on to many tangents.
And Joe puts his podcasts on his YouTube channel as well.
Correct.
So if you
It's
want to
out.
check that
It's
out,
out
yeah,
already,
it's
yeah.
out. Yeah, sounds fantastic. And Rucka, we got Rucka Ali, the co-host
Yeah.
of the best debate in the universe. My first
bottom commanding
first hand.
lieutenant
No, you're
moderator.
the first hand on staff
Okay,
moderator. Do you
right.
want a demotion? Do you want a demotion?
It's not up to me.
That's right. It's not up to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we're reading some super chats. We got to wrap this up pretty quick because
In 5
Michael,
more minutes, yeah.
Michael Malice, yeah, about 5 more minutes. Michael Malice flew into Los Angeles to do the Joe Rogan show yesterday, and he's leaving today.
That's true. I'm
What is
so
it?
jet set. I'm a modern day Joan Collins.
Yeah. You just came in for this, huh?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
boy, are my arms tired because
Yeah.
of all the curls.
Here.
Thank you.
I meant this
You
one.
ruined the book.
I kept opening it, and you keep closing it. I kept opening it so it'd be more stable.
That book signed.
It is signed.
It is a
Oh,
signed
I was going to say, why don't you sign
It's
that
a
book?
signed, special
Yeah.
signed edition. They don't make the hardcover anymore. By they, I mean me.
Yeah.
Number 133 of
Oh,
666.
it's not made out to anybody.
You can't make out a signed limited edition.
You can't like write someone's name in it.
No.
Oh,
No, man.
well, that's
Come
too
on
bad.
now. Come on now.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap this up. So you're saying no, do not preemptively strike.
Correct.
And
Not
Rucka-
yet.
Not yet. Rucka, what do you say?
No, but you gotta do other shit. But I
Yeah.
already said that earlier.
Do other shit like what?
Tell South Korea they're on their own.
Yeah, that's fair.
South Korea's on their own. We just
Yeah.
completely with.
Oh my God, Mr. Fucking Hippie Dippy over here. One hand wants us never to strike anyone. On the other hand, it's our job to fucking babysit the entire fucking planet.
Oh,
Well,
he's
it's
got
not-
your number.
It's not that. It's
Why
not
do you hate George Bush, by the way? He agrees with you 100%.
George W. Bush?
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking idiot.
No, he's not. He's like you. He feels bad for everybody. He thinks it's his job to deliver
no,
them
he's not.
democracy.
Oh, he's so fucking sincere. George W. Bush.
Yeah, total fucking pussy.
He's not.
You
look,
you
he's not a pussy,
brought up
he's an idiot.
Iraq. Iraqis were afraid of us when we first went over there. They
Yes.
thought we were as crazy as they are, and once they realized we're a fucking joke, they started
Ooh.
blowing us up.
Wow.
Yikes.
Hater of America. You heard it here.
Oh
you heard it
yeah,
here first.
America is a fucking paper tiger. I will fucking stand by that. I wish that weren't the case.
How the hell is tiger supposed to be a pejorative of any kind?
It's made
I
of
don't care
paper.
if it's still
Paper.
a tiger.
'Cause it
Yeah, but
looks
it's-
like
it's
it looks
paper.
fierce,
But it's still a
but
tiger.
It's made of paper.
Do you want to be a paper gun?
Yes.
You want to be a paper Chinese star? Or
When I was a kid, they said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "A paper gun."
paper gun. Well, guess what? You are one.
Thank you, like
Yeah.
Megatron.
Me,
Yeah.
winner. We got a couple super chats, and we got to wrap this up. Sean F for $2. Thank you, Sean F. Says, Michael, any laws about farting in North Korea?
They don't discuss stuff like that. They're very, very chaste.
I mean, what happens if someone lets one loose?
Well, they eat a lot of kimchi, which is fermented cabbage.
That's
so I'm
right.
sure there's going to be a lot of gas.
Yeah, you know what? Who else eats a lot of kimchi? This guy.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, me. We got another one from Daniel Connerman. Thank you, Daniel, for all the support in this super chat. Another $2. He says, look me up on YouTube, Dan Connerman, Maddox Rules. All right, there's a plug, Dan
That's fair.
Connerman.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Lawler. Lawler Coaster in the chat room says Maddox is like George Bush, and then the crying face, smiling emoji. Jesse PS says, if North Korea were wiped from the map, would anything of value be lost?
Yeah, 24 million people who have children and lives and desperately want to be human.
Well, there you go. You got served, Jesse.
Yeah.
Okay, Rucka. So you're saying no intervention, no preemptive strike, and we should just leave South Korea on their own, and we should maybe even stop being trading partners with them. No more LG phones.
Wait.
No more
Slow
Samsung.
Down. Slow down, crazy person. Don't be trading.
I heard the next thing he was going to say is we should make Korean illegal to speak
Is
in
that
America.
what you said? Wait,
No.
you shouldn't be trading partners with who?
South Korea.
No, why should we stop? Well, hold on. When you say an you're talking about American companies and Korean companies.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
think
let
they're
them-
going to be as cozy with us if we're not supporting them?
Who's
Militarism?
they?
The
I
South Koreans.
don't think the American government and the Korean government should be fucking interfering in the business conducted between its citizens. See, I told you Michael would fall in love with me. You
Oh,
didn't
great.
listen.
Oh, wow.
You thought he was coming here to fucking get on your dick.
I'm on
Listen,
Team Rucka.
Look, if Americans and Koreans want to trade, that's fine. But America does not need to be over there protecting South Korea. If the South Koreans don't want to get attacked, they should really look into some defense setup shit.
Yeah, because no country who's ever had a defense has ever been attacked. Good point.
Okay.
What happened in 2011 around September? You remember that?
2011?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, 2011.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Literally
I
nothing.
meant something did.
Nothing.
You know I meant 2001. I was only up like 10 years. Who cares?
No, I agree. I agree.
I was only off by 10 years.
Jesse.
No,
So,
I agree. South Korea should have been over here protecting us from 9/11.
Yeah.
no one said they should
Protecting
have.
us from George Bush, who started 9/11, as we all know.
Well, he didn't. He disregarded that presidential daily briefing that came out in August. So it happened in September, but in August there was a presidential daily briefing, a PDB. Look this up; it's on Google. All right, I'm not Alex
I
Jones
agree
this
that
shit.
George W. is the worst president in the world, who is a total fucking pussy, who everyone paints as a fucking warmonger when he was the exact
Can
opposite.
I quote my favorite comedian, Neil Hamburger? Because he used to open up his set and go, "Can we agree that George Bush is the worst president ever?" And everyone cheers. He goes, which makes it strange that his son, George W. Bush, was in fact the best.
Yeah.
In fact, the best.
That's funny.
All right, that's a great joke. Look, guys, we got to wrap this up. Just a real quick joke, though. When we said Jesse P.S. asked if anything of value would be lost if North Korea were wiped off the face of the earth, and you said 24 million people, and then he said, so no, got it. Kirk Wilcox for $2 super chat says Maddox forgot 9/11, so un-American. I didn't forget it. I've never forgotten
He
it.
caused it.
I ain't caught it.
See, he only allows himself to hate Osama bin Laden. Like, that's the only fucking person he'll blame for anything. Everyone else gets to tell their side of the story.
Yeah,
There's
right.
two sides to
Yeah.
every debate.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, to wrap things up, Michael Malice, Rucka both say no to a preemptive strike on North Korea.
What do you say?
I say if they show that they have missiles that can reach our coast, then it might be time. And if they're doing more provocative measures like this,
The
it might be
coast
time.
is a different issue. I mean, Guam and Hawaii aren't going to cut it.
right.
LA
We're
might
talking
cut it,
LA.
yeah.
If you have a missile, if they demonstrate they have a missile
That
can reach our
might
coast.
be fair.
Yep. All right, there we go. Genius. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to this debate and discussion. Real quick, another one. Daniel Connerman for $2 super chat says knock knock. Oh man, are we gonna have to do it?
Is this
Well,
an interrupting?
two
Is
bucks
this,
to finish the joke.
is this an interrupting cow?
Yeah.
Who's there?
For $2. Anyway, guys, tune in to the best debate, madcastmedia.com. Follow Michael Malice on Twitter. It's at Michael Malice. Follow Rucka Ali on Twitter. It's at I am Rucka. Is that correct?
Yeah, good job.
I am Rucka. And then me, I'm at Maddox Rules. And tune in every week. We got the best debate.
We
in the universe.
got Maddox pranks coming to you every Wednesday night. Social experiments. We're
Ah!
going to your favorite Korean restaurants and ordering not kimchi. I'll tell you that. We're gonna be ordering falafel.
No, we will not be.
That's
Daniel
zany.
Kahneman. So the follow up to that joke, knock knock. He says for another $2.
Yeah.
9/11.
9/11 who?
Knock knock. Who's there? 9/11 who? Okay, yeah.
Alright,
9/11
I guess
who?
we have to
got
wait
$2
for the rest
coming.
of the joke.
Yeah. And then Esteban, another Argentinian 20, says thanks. Thank you, Esteban.
Now
And
we
then
gotta go.
and then Podawful says, who is Jesse? Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta take Michael Miles got to catch a flight.
Yeah.
Actually,
We're
right
never
now.
gonna know the rest of the knock knock.
Google.
All right, here it
it's-
is. Daniel Kahneman says, you said you would never forget. Oh God.
Nice.
Okay.
Boo.
Okay.
All right.
That was good.
Bye.
All right, guys.
Good
That's
job.
Kill the stream. Let's kill the stream.
Kill it.
We gotta get Michael
Yeah.
to the airport.